Getting back into the old school, doing game reviews once again. Somewhere along the line, I got too wrapped up in doing wrestling vids and I forgot about my old school. You know, the people that have been with me since the beginning here on YouTube. But now I got a whole batch of new subscribers and now they can appreciate my game reviews and I'm bringing them back. The wrestling isn't going anywhere, but the game reviews are coming back. Not sure if it's in full force or not, but I'm getting on a kick lately. And this has been the third video today of doing these little, quick game reviews. And I talked a little bit about 6 months ago in October when I first got the game. I promised people I'd review this game, in full when I finished it. Never completely finished it. I played the Leon and the Chris campaigns, and now I think I've got enough information. The other guy is Drake in it. I don't know if I'll ever be going back to playing this game. I got a whole bunch of other games I need to finish. I've had games for fucking years that I barely even touched. So, it's probably going to be a while before I buy a brand new game. I still have games like Fallout 3 I still have to play. Haven't even fucking put Fallout 3 in my fucking Xbox yet, and I still have the game that bought it last year. So this game, big disappointment. Not a bad game, but fucking disappointing. Now, Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. And this is coming from somebody who's played old school games. Played all the games in the 90s and all that shit. And I'm saying that 4 was great. 4 was fantastic. And 5, I love 5. The single-player campaign wasn't as good as 4, but it was still solid. And the multiplayer was excellent. This time around, I'll tell you what I did play in this game. I told you I played the 2 campaigns. I played multiplayer, but the co-op. I didn't check out the mercenaries and the other modes. So with that in mind, we're going to go on that. I think that the game story sucks fucking dick. I think that without Wesker, the game sucks. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, really. It was boring. Okay, so 4 didn't have Wesker. But somehow, some way, that game managed to be really fucking good. It didn't work for me. And I know a lot of people are going to flame me because of that. But the story just has some random motherfucker. I don't even remember what his name was. He comes back, and he's nothing special. Just a boring, not cool character. And this is pretty much all it is. Now, the game tries to, they try to intertwine the different perspectives and how the different stories of the characters come together. Interesting, but not good enough because that's only in certain parts of the game. And, after a while, things start to get very similar, a little bit too similar. And that's because this game has no originality at all. There's not one point in this game where I said, wow, I've never seen that before. In actuality, this game just takes different things that we've already seen in Resident Evil and just sort of like redoes it. Nothing interesting at all. And that's where the boredom sets in. Like I said, a good game, but I found my attention being diverted and I wanted to turn it off. I couldn't sit there for that long. I kept taking a lot of breaks during this game because it couldn't hold my interest. There was a lot of parts in this game that were just very uninteresting, and the story is one part of it. And the levels, it's just like shoot the zombies, then do a little something here and there that's like look for keys, and there wasn't really much to it. Like the other games, they had a lot of variety. This game lacked a lot of variety, and there was a lot of times where I felt myself being very annoyed by this game. For instance, the game is way too random, and they overuse the quick button presses thing to get out of a dangerous situation. They started doing this in the other games, but they did it, sparingly. They sprinkled it around through different parts of the game to keep it interesting. But it wasn't as random as this. This is like, press A, press X, press this, and then before you know it, you're fucking dead. And it's too random because it's too much trial and error. There was one part in this game I remember when one creature zombie thing grabbed me, starting to put my head towards a fan. And they want you to press this, press that, scratch your ass, scratch your head, fucking jack off, whatever they wanted you to do. It was like so many things. I died like 6 times in a row before I finally got it. Because then they keep changing the buttons. And I was just fucking, I had enough of it. It was like, holy shit. It's like sometimes they do a thing in a game where it's not difficult, but just stupidly, retardedly put together. And just so random that it was just more annoying than anything. I sit there sometimes saying to myself, and you know, this is not entertainment. This is just annoying. You know, and I shouldn't be feeling annoyed playing a video game. You play video games to be entertained, to have fun. But then, you know, when you're fucking yelling at the television because it's giving you a fucking hard time, that's when you got fucking problems. It's not fun. You know, it's a little bit stupid. I haven't gotten that annoyed at a game since like Ninja Gaiden for the original Xbox, where that game was just fucking retarded because they made it too fucking hard to the point where you just were like, you know, I saw people gave Ninja Gaiden like all these great ratings. I don't know how they came up with that. I don't know who even finished that fucking game. Alright, so it ain't that hard. Actually, the game is pretty easy. Actually, a lot of the bosses are pretty pathetically easy. It's just those little parts are just annoying. So it's more annoying than hard. And the thing is, when you die, you have to watch the animations over and goddamn fucking over again. And you can't skip them. You can't skip it. And when you're dying from those annoying little segments there that are so fucking random, you want to skip to them so you can try again as quickly as you can because you're just fucking wasting time. And speaking of time, you know, sometimes you need time to go to the fucking bathroom. And you can't with this game because they don't have a fucking pause button. Are they fucking on drugs? Now, when I made a video months back in October when I first bought the game. And people were saying, oh, what are you talking about? It's got a pause button. You don't fucking have the game, you fucking dickbags. Because if you did, you'd fucking realize that it doesn't. It doesn't have a pause button at all. I don't know if it's just a 360 version or what it is, but it doesn't have one. Holy shit. Even games for the motherfucking Atari, for the fucking ColecoVision, the SNES, the NES, the motherfucking whatever. They all had pause buttons. I've never seen a game that can pause. There's a fucking pause button on the fucking controller. What do we do with the start button? Oh, don't do anything with it. It'll bring up a menu, but, you know, it can't pause. What the fuck is this? What kind of fucking retardation is this? Who programs a game but doesn't put a pause button? And, you know, you could make the excuses for them and say, oh, maybe Capcom forgot. How the fuck do you forget to put in a feature that's been in video games since the motherfucking 80s? It's a completely old school, just mandatory thing. Even a fucking piece of shit like E.T. even has a fucking pause button. Are you telling me that Resident Evil, one of the biggest fucking franchise in video game history, doesn't have a pause button? That is completely fucking unacceptable. I will not accept any excuses for the absentee of a fucking pause button. That alone just affects the game's quality because it's deeply flawed. It don't have a fucking button that's in every single game, even shitty games. But overall, I won't be too harsh on it. As much as it pains me, I will give the game a 7 out of motherfucking 10. It's fun at times. It's entertaining. I can't knock it. for like its graphics. Great looking game. It's fucking beautiful. But nowadays, all games pretty much look good. They've gotten to the point where, I think that making an Xbox 720 is just, pointless because there's no fucking way that they can make it look any better. I don't really see how graphics could get any better in games, by the way, but, that's a rant for another day. But, a game like this, where, it's Leon Kennedy and Chris Redfield for the first time. I was so excited for this game, but majorly let down. That's it. Like, I feel like I'm being overly negative about this game, but you guys gotta understand, I'm a big fucking fan of this franchise, and to see it, just belittled like this, like it was, like you would see this game, and like if I didn't show you it was Resident Evil, you wouldn't, you would expect higher standards from it. You would be like, holy shit, this is Resident Evil? It doesn't seem like it. It's supposed to be like one of the best game series of all time. I don't know how they managed to fuck up with this game. It's just like, it's so telling. Like, the game even forgot to put in the pause button. It feels incomplete. Like there should be more to it. And I know there's 3 campaigns, but that's not enough. Each story doesn't feel original. They all kind of feel the same. And it's just like weird in some parts. You got like cops who are changing, shooting at you with guns. It got like too weird and too far away from, the main idea of Resident Evil. Seems like just a very desperate game. Like they ran out of ideas and now they're like retreading. I don't know. Maybe Resident Evil 7 will get the series back on track. Look, don't come on this video and fucking bash me. I gave it a 7 out of 10. That's, not... It's above average is basically what that rating translates to. Almost good, above average, but not exactly a great game by any means. Alright, flame if you must, but that's how I feel.